Swing wing helmet toy 1960s. Deadly neck whiplash risk. I remember begging my parents for the swing wing, a plastic helmet with a heavy cord you swung around your head like a wild hula hoop. It looked so fun, but the neck strain was brutal. Kids risked permanent spine damage or even paralysis trying to master it. It was a thrill that came with real danger, a vivid reminder of how carefree we were back then. Thing Maker Kit 1960s. Hot molds that burned kids. As a kid, the Mattel Thing Maker was magical. I got to melt plastic in metal molds to create creepy critters. But the hot molds could burn your fingers badly, and the fumes weren't exactly safe. Looking back, it was a hazardous science experiment disguised as a toy. Yet despite the risks, it fueled our imaginations and creativity. Lawn darts 1960s. Deadly backyard game that injured thousands. Lawn darts were a staple of backyard fun in the 1960s, but their heavy metal tips could cause serious injuries. Kids and even adults got hurt badly, some fatally, which finally led to their ban. I remember the thrill playing them, not knowing how dangerous they really were. They were a classic example of how safety standards back then were almost non-existent. Clackers 1970s. Toy that could smash your skull. Clackers were these two heavy acrylic balls on strings that kids banged together at dizzying speeds. They looked fun but were straight up dangerous. Clacking them too hard risked hitting your own head or others, causing serious injuries. I remember the thrill and the warnings, but many kids ignored the risks until the toy was banned. Water slide toy 1960s. Backyard fun that caused injuries. Summer days meant the backyard water slide was the ultimate thrill, just a slick plastic strip connected to a hose. But the fun came with real risk. Broken toes on stakes, hard falls on driveways, and scraped knees were common. The toy's carefree design didn't consider safety, and many kids walked away limping. Looking back, it was a hazard disguised as fun. Fanner 50 cap guns 1960s. Loud, hot, and burn risks. The Fanner 50 cap gun was every kid's dream in the 1960s, loading paper caps that went bang with every trigger pull. But the excitement came with a price. Caps could burn your skin, and the noise scared some kids. I loved feeling like a cowboy, but the risk of little burns was real and part of the thrill. Jolly Chimp 1960s. Mechanical monkey that frightened kids. The Jolly Chimp was a mechanical monkey with clashing cymbals that made a terrifying racket for little kids. It wasn't dangerous in the usual sense, but its loud noises and sudden movements scared many children. I remember the mix of fascination and fear it sparked during playdates. Trampolines without nets 1960s. Risky play that led to injuries. In the 1960s, trampolines were a popular backyard toy but rarely had safety nets. Kids frequently fell off, suffering sprains, fractures, or head injuries. Despite the risks, we couldn't resist bouncing high and daring each other. Those unsafe trampolines symbolized a time when play meant risk, and safety was an afterthought. Thing Maker Hot Plate 1960s. Risky toy crafting experience. The Thing Maker was a beloved Mattel kit where kids melted plastic on a hot plate to create monsters and critters. It was thrilling but dangerous. The hot metal molds could easily burn fingers. Despite the risks, it fueled hours of imaginative play and creative crafting, a memorable part of many childhoods. The Hippity Hop Ball 1960s. Bouncy toy that led to falls. The Hippity Hop Ball was a giant inflatable ball with handles that let kids bounce for hours. The fun was in trying to stay on, but many ended up tumbling and falling hard. It was both a joy and a hazard, typical of many 1960s toys where fun and risk went hand in hand.